to start recording. There you go. All right, welcome to the Willie Lawson show on Ustream TV. We're not going to do a, let me see if we can turn this microphone down a little bit. I think it sounds like I'm screaming. All right, we're not going to do a regular Blog Talk Radio show today. What we're going to do is a show on Ustream TV, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to continue to ask you to help. Let's see here, and typing is still a problem. Ah, dear. Help the Willie Lawson show get to Radio Row, because it is important that we have as many resources as possible. Because what we're doing here on the Willie Lawson show is that, I don't know if you knew about it, but we're headed to Radio Row at the RNC. I'd like to be able to go to the Democrat National Convention, but frankly, that's another $1,500 that we don't have. We just don't have. And I'm realistic. I am a realistic person. That the Willie Lawson show is having trouble raising $500. I just, and it's terrible. I just don't have. And you know what? And it's like Pastor says. You got to have. People have faith for $1 million, but they say they have faith for $1 million when they really don't have faith to pay their bills. You know what I'm saying? Have faith to pay your bills first. Have faith to be able to save $15 a month. And then on to the next thing. So I'm a real first things first kind of guy. I really am. Always have been. And I'm now. You know what? I'd like to be able to go to the convention in Charlotte. I think it'd be interesting, and I think that independent conservative media has a place in Charlotte amongst the Democrats. I do. And but right now the idea is that we don't have the funds, and so we're going to concentrate on what we can do. And I think that's important. I think people miss the point sometimes. You know what? What can you do? What can you do now? They always go, well, Willie, if I get my income tax check. Listen, here we go. If some deal in your life is pending somebody getting their income tax check, it's never going to happen. I'm just saying, it ain't ever going to happen. That's the deal. If that's what we're looking at, if we're looking at, when they get the income tax back, that's when it's going to happen. It isn't going. That means it's not going to happen. That means they're not interested. That means that the answer is no. That it means all that kind of stuff. So that's really that's that's what that's all about. So again, if frankly, I hear a bunch of that, and that and that's fine. I think people don't mean that necessarily, but the truth of the matter is that that's what it means. It means that you're not, that is not going to happen. They're not going to buy the ticket once they get their income tax check back. They're not going to donate to the church. They're not going to. So I appreciate those who said, "Oh, as soon as we get our refund thing back, and as soon as we, that's fine." Our debt, we've got some drop dead deadlines coming up, and we got some self-imposed deadlines, and one of the self-imposed deadlines is tomorrow. I'd like to have $500 in the drawer tomorrow, and what we can do is we can send in our payment on Monday, and at least we can have our spot. Now, you guys are wondering, why are you asking for money to go do this? Well, because here's how it works. If indeed the House radio and TV people said, hey, listen, we're going to give you credentials to broadcast from Radio Row. Okay, that's awesome. So when I get to the security gate, they have my credentials. I'm good to go. In order to plug in my laptop and um, my audio mixer, it costs money. Yeah, it does. It costs money. In order to hook up to the internet there, it costs money because there are firms that have been contracted by the host committee, either the host committee or the Republican Party, to actually do all this stuff. It's amazing. You can't just find you know, some of you folks think we can just find an empty outlet and plug it in. Oh, they got to, we'll go wireless. The answer to both those questions is no. It costs money to do. And we've got hooked up with some great folks, the Talk Radio News Service, and through Advocacy Inc. And they are actually footing the entire bill, and they're actually bringing some folks in and putting them up in hotels and the whole like. So we're actually getting a deal because they don't have to house me. So the exciting part is we're actually getting a deal. We're actually getting a deal because they didn't have to pay for a hotel room for me. That's what they'd have to do in Charlotte, and we need at least $1,500, and that's just broadcasting and a place to stay. That doesn't include transportation. That doesn't include a week full of food, or or transportation to and from places. That doesn't include any of that. Basically, what I'd be doing even then, even if I had the $1,500 exactly, I'd be broadcasting, and then I'd be sleeping in a room, sharing a room with somebody and sleeping because I wouldn't have money to eat. So that's the and I guess I haven't explained that, and I hope that this video, for some of you it's a video, for some of you it's a live performance. Looks like for most of you it'll be a video. That you'll understand that's why I'm asking for money. Yes, I gotta have new equipment. That's all there is to it. I've got to have new equipment. I don't know how I'm going to do it with equipment I have. I will if I have to. You bet your sweet bippy. I'll do. Y'all know me. What? I'll do whatever I have to do. However I have to do it. But but again, we need at least $500. I'd like it by tomorrow, so we don't have to worry about this anymore, and I can really plan on the logistics of everything else for the next week or so, because it's, what's interesting is this week, and then there's two other weeks, and then a convention. So time is clipping, and and again, I'd like to thank my friend Mark and my friend Patrick for helping out, because without you guys, we got nothing. Some of these, these big networks obviously have, sponsors and millions of dollars. And you know what, I'm telling you what, they pay too. You guys won't think they pay too. And some of them are paying dearly. I've seen what these, what the charges are to have these build outs done. We're talking about millions of dollars. Some people are paying millions of dollars. Millions of dollars for these build outs that you'll see on television and the like. Millions of dollars. So everybody's paying. I'm blessed that we're getting a deal. I am truly blessed that we are indeed getting a deal. So it's, it isn't like they're making us, us poor little independents pay. I don't want to come to you like that, because that's not true. Everybody's paying, and beside that, we're getting a deal. If you wonder what I'm staring at, I'm trying to use the social media tool that's here on Ustream, and it's really typing weird. I don't know if it's it or the computer. I don't know, but it's not good. We'll see if that works. But in any case, that's what this is. I mean, that's what I want to concentrate on today a little bit, and to explain, kind of explain to you why. Why do you keep asking for money? Because it costs money to do, and in order to do it well, it costs more money to do it well. We've been able to do some stuff. We've been able to do some stuff with no equipment, with really nothing. My handset on my phone, maybe my phone. We've been able to do some stuff. Basically, right now I'm using an old computer. I'm using an old webcam that my friend Rick basically gave me, and he also gave me the mic that we use for the show every day on Blog Talk Radio. Taught me how to, taught me how to use the USB mixer. The USB mixer that we use, we were only able to get because people gave to the show, and I went out and bought it. And it's been a godsend. It's been excellent. Rick hooked me up with some software, and everything, the laptop that we use, and the computer that we used before were both donated. That's the greatest part. The laptop we use for the show now and the computer that we used before were both donated, and that's the deal. People have given, and we've been able to do some stuff. We've been able to go places. We've been able to interview folks. Right now on Ustream, the new Ustream video we're experimenting with for another project. So we uploaded my interview with Jesse Lee Peterson on YouTube. And I think that's cool. I think that's going to be an interesting thing. You could go out there, if you haven't heard it yet, and if you're new to the Willie Lawson Show and all that we're doing, to get an idea of what we're about, go to YouTube and search for the Willie Lawson Show, and you'll see the newest thing we have up is our interview with Jesse Lee Peterson of Bond, and I think that's fabulous. I think it's fabulous. So. Yeah, cool. But and we're hoping to get some people to come over and watch live watch this live on Facebook. We're also, and that's the deal. This, in order to do these things, well, you got to have the right equipment. I heard from a friend of mine yesterday. We were talking yesterday or the day before. Trying to remember, it was yesterday. Yes, it was. That his father told him when he started getting into carpentry, get the best tools that you can. Get the best tools you can afford, because you're always going to be happier with them, and you're always going to be better at what you do with them. So part of the fundraising efforts, of course, is to solidify our place and pay that financial obligation. But also to just start getting tools that we can go out and go out to these functions. Part of what we want to do is also we want to head out to the protest areas after the show, or maybe even before the show, and get an idea of what's going on in the protest area. And the protest area is going to be an area that's going to be set aside. That, frankly, for those of you who are coming to protest, stay home. And I'll be honest with you. You're going to be so far out of eyesight and earshot of the delegates, it's not going to matter. However, I will tell you, and this may be defeating my own purpose, that the city of Tampa is going to be the most accommodating place any protester who says they want to be peaceful has ever been. If you want to parade, there's a parade route. If you want to do a stage program, there's a stage and a PA and lighting, and you got 12 hours by which to do it. 12 hours, 8 to 8. No, they don't want you they don't want you in a protest area camping at night. First of all, it's not safe. Come on, folks. First of all, it's not safe. That's just stupid. Okay. First of all, it's not going to be safe. Because there's no running water there. It's not a campground, okay? It's not safe. It's not going to be sanitary. It's not good. So unless you have friends who live in the area, or you've booked hotel rooms or motel rooms in the area, don't come out here. Don't come to Tampa thinking you're just going to chill and hang out in the park. It's not Sagadi Park. This is not New York. They don't groove the same way they groove in Chicago or New York or LA. At 8 o'clock, they're going to ask you to leave the park. And if you choose not to leave, you will spend some time in county lockup. There you go. Welcome to frickin' Tampa. Okay, that's how it's going to be. If you choose not to leave, if you choose to stay in the protest area and not go to your hotel room or to a friend's house or to the YMCA, I don't know where the heck you're going, to the Spanish Mission, wherever you're going, that you have contracted, that's the place where you're going to sleep, then forget it. What I suggest you do, you ready? Here's what I suggest you do. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a cartoon, a Warner Brothers cartoon. It has a sheepdog and a wolf, or a coyote. It's a wolf, really. And what they do, the sheepdog, his job is to protect the sheep. Okay, that's his job. Now, I mean, and it's a job. He goes and he clocks in, and the wolf's job is to get one of the sheep. Okay, that's his job, and they clock in on the same time clock every morning. There's Sam and Joe, and they say, "Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Joe." And they clock in, and then they go about doing their thing, trying to stop the other, and it's great fun. But at the end of the day, they stop what they're doing and clock out. See you tomorrow. There's been some episodes I saw where they stop in the middle of the day and have lunch. And then go back, whoop, and they clock in again and go back to their behaviors. This is how it's going to have to be. Come, speak your piece. Speak your piece from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Speak your piece. At 8 o'clock, or before 8, start packing your stuff up, put it back in your hotel room, and go enjoy the city of Tampa. Really go enjoy it. Really go and enjoy some of the the businesses and the clubs and the bars and and the restaurants and the stuff and the beach, and just go enjoy the area. Go, we came to Tampa and we had a really good time. We protested 12 hours, we got on TV, we made our point, and then we enjoyed the city. Be civil. It's the best way to get your point across. Being violent and destructive is not. And first of all, it's not going to work. First of all, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So that's my suggestion to the protesters that are coming. And pack water. Get a camel pack because it's going to be 1,000 degrees. We don't want anybody dropping dead because they're too stupid to drink water. I get some coffee. But no. So anyway, so we're gonna, one of the projects we're gonna have is we're gonna be out shooting some raw video of the protest area, and maybe some of you folks who are seeing this on Ustream are coming to protest, and you'll see this, and hope to see you then. Hey, my name is Willie, and I'm just coming to, I'll just be out there to see what you got to offer. Yes, I am the flag bearer. I think I am the flag bearer, the poster child for independent conservative media. But you know what? I'm going to the protest area just to see what's happening. That's it. You'll know my opinions and stuff, but I ain't there trying to convince anybody of anything. Me and my friend Lytle will be there, so it'll be fun until it's time to go home at 8 o'clock p.m. It'll still be light, but it'll be time to go home. All right. Again, if you want to help out the Willie Lawson Show, what we need you to do is go to the WillieLawsonShow.com website and click the donate button at the top of the page. That's what we need you to do. We need you to go to the WillieLawsonShow.com website and click the donate button at the top of the page. That's what we need you to do. It's real simple. It's very, very simple. It's gonna act like you need PayPal, but you don't. If you just look down around the bottom of the screen there, you just look down there, it'll be okay. You'll find out that you don't need PayPal. If you've got PayPal, awesome. But if you don't, that's fine too. And my cat, hello. Hi, this is a conservative cat G. This is one of the problems with shooting at home. This one here, who hasn't eaten since, I don't know, it's 1 o'clock, it's almost 2 o'clock, hasn't eaten since this morning. He wants to eat. Are you hungry? You hungry? Yeah, he's a good kitty. Most of the time, excuse me. There you go. Welcome to my world. I like this. Maybe we'll do this more. Maybe we'll do this more often. Something interesting happened. The president was on earlier on it was actually a C-SPAN or Ustream broadcast, spinning the numbers. There were 147,000 or so jobs created. I'm not sure what that means, and I'm not really sure why government always wants to claim that. They want to claim one. It's so funny. They want to claim one thing but not the other. I think that's funny. The government wants to claim one thing but not the other. They want to claim the 147,000 jobs created. And say, we've had 27 months of job created, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but the unemployment rate just went up. It's funny, these numbers come out at the same time, from 8.2% to 8.3%. And you say, well, that's not very much. Well, that's a few 100,000 people. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's these tens of thousands of people. You know what I'm saying? It's tens of thousands of people. So if you're in that 0.1% increase, it's a bad day at your house. Now, we could explain why the numbers were going down. And that wasn't good either. We can explain why the unemployment number was actually decreasing. It's because people are ending their benefits because they're at the end of their 99 months or whatever it is, or they've given up entirely and they're not seeking employment anymore, and they get, and they're not being counted, so that number goes down. But when that number goes up, when you create 147,000 jobs and that number goes up, that seems to me that the gap is expanding. You're not doing enough on one side, and it's getting worse on the other side. I don't know how long. I know how long for me. It ended shortly after the 6 months. I don't know how long you can still blame George Bush. I just don't know how you keep blaming George Bush. Keep blaming George Bush. Keep blaming George Bush. This administration has been in place nearly 4 years. And you say, oh, no, they took office in January. And I understand, but you know what? The team, by now, in 2008, the team that, for the most part, that the president was going to use was assembled, for the most part, was assembled. And they have been looking at this economic situation since 2007. A lot of them have been looking at this economic situation since 2007. And you mean to tell, I'm at the point where you mean to tell me, you mean to tell me at this point that it was so terrible that you didn't know how bad it was. Well, that doesn't make me all warm and fuzzy either. If I'm supposed to trust that you know what you're doing, then I've got to believe before that you knew how bad it was. Because if you can't diagnose the problem correctly, I don't have any confidence, none, that you'll be able to cure the disease. And so when they come at me and say, well, it was worse than they thought, Bush had screwed it up worse than they thought. I love that. Well, you know what? Bush was in office for 8 years. You didn't see what was going on? You didn't see what was going on in depth enough to give a proper diagnosis of the problem? Because I'm just going to go, according to you, according to the Obama administration, frankly, the deal would have been, well, you understood this, you understood the situation to such a great degree But you would have been able to convince a lot of Republicans and independents on fact that, you know what, this is, folks, this is terrible. This is really bad. We need to turn around this thing here, and here's why. You know that a lot of independents and Republicans and conservatives want numbers. They want, give me some facts. Don't give me any emotion. Tell me why it's as screwed up as you say it is. And then I'll support you. But you didn't do that. So you come back later and tell me, well, it's worse than we thought. What? Worse than you thought? That's insane. And again, we go back to the very same thing. You didn't diagnose the problem correctly, and now you expect me to believe that you know how to solve it. You couldn't even figure out what it was, let alone solve. And I can't imagine that you'd solve it. At this point, I'm looking for a second opinion. At this point, I'm looking for another doctor. At this point, I'm looking for another hospital. At this point, I'm looking for another hospital. Sorry. That's why you can't. That's why, you know what, I'm telling folks who are supporting the president, you got to stop blaming the guy who hadn't been president in almost 4 years. Got to stop blaming this guy. Because all that tells you is that you don't. All that says to me is that you haven't figured it out. It's so bad and you haven't figured it out. Because when we talk about creating 147,000 jobs, and we know what's going to happen, that number always gets revised, and that number always gets revised down. And the unemployment number that's at 8.3%, when it gets revised next month, it's going to get revised up, which means there's a gap. You know, this whole idea of the government creating jobs is stupid anyway. Government doesn't create jobs. The only jobs that the government creates are jobs are government jobs. Government doesn't create jobs. Let me help you. The government doesn't create jobs. So I think that Republicans need to stop saying that. I think Democrats need to stop saying that, because unless they're government jobs, the government doesn't create jobs. There you go. The government doesn't. How? How do they create jobs? Exactly. Exactly, they don't. Now, can a government at any level, and I mean state, local, federal government, provide an atmosphere for entrepreneurs to come in and businesses to come in and open up factories and open up places and do things that jobs get created? Yes, yes. You know, it's interesting. I was listening to a one of the national talk show guys, and he makes an excellent point. I don't know. You know what? I don't listen to a lot of the national guys because I don't want to be seen ever as somebody that just regurgitates what they say. But he made an excellent point in that what I think part of the information that doesn't get out is this. In this country, job growth is the norm. It's the norm. Job growth always happens. It isn't like, oh, look, we've been creating, you know what, there's been job growth for the past 26 months. Well, I think the number is something like, and you can correct me, you can send me an email at willie@willielawsonshow.com, and I'll get it on my my Touch 4G handset. I'm thinking that the number for Ronald Reagan was this. Of his 8 years in office, I think that they had job growth for like 76 months. 76 of those months. Wow. 76 of those months. Why? Because we have job growth. That's the norm in the United States of America. I think that again, I say this all the time, I think that the left benefits and lives on the ignorance of the American people. There's always job growth. That's how we do it. This is how we do it. So to claim, oh, that there's been job growth for the past 26 months. Well, yeah. But what kind of job growth? I had a discussion with a neighbor friend of mine, and showed me a graph after we got and after we got past where the graph came from and all that stuff. Um, and in that graph, uh, it had the unemployment numbers and the actually showed me the first time um, signers, people signing up for unemployment. Well, I saw, he showed me a piece of it where the unemployment, the first time unemployment sign people filers was going down. Well, that's good. And the inference was because that number was going down, then there were being jobs created. Well, there's always being jobs. Jobs are all, again, going back to this, jobs are always being created. Always being created. Again, that's the norm. However, if, he showed me a segment. So I, being me, being the wonderful, smart, erudite person that I am, I took the same tool he used and spread it out to 10 years and saw, wow, here's what's been happening historically. When when you have the number of first-time filers go down, the unemployment number goes down precipitously. They go down together, almost in if you see it now in a very similar graph. What you have here is this. You have the unemployment first-time filers going down, and instead of the and what normally happens, the unemployment rate goes down along with it. What you're having now is that unemployment filers go down, and this other number is going up. They're spreading. This is not going up as much, but it's not going down. It's not going down with it. There's a problem. That's that gap I was talking about earlier. There's a gap I was talking about earlier. And today's numbers, 147,000 jobs created, and we know that that's going to be revised down, and the 8.3% unemployment, we know that's going to be revised up. Why? Because that's how it's been happening. That shows you that, stimulus didn't work, and the current policies aren't working, the regulatory stuff's not working. All the stuff they had a chance to do without any Republicans being able to stop them for the first 2 years of this administration have failed, and have failed in the sense they have not created an atmosphere. They have not tilled the soil. They've not fertilized the soil, aerated the soil, watered the soil, so there could be ample growth. We look at GDP numbers, 1.5% GDP. An increase in GDP? 1.5? 1.5, people are starting to think, oh, that double dip thing they keep talking about. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, people are starting to wonder, well, okay, maybe not. Some of the economists are thinking, no. But people are starting to think, some economists are starting to think, well, it looks like that double dip thing. And it is not. Folks, do not get it twisted. This is not based on the Bush-era tax cuts. And I'll tell you why. Because nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. When those tax cuts were implemented, there was great growth. There continued to be growth. The only things that have changed are stimulus, the lack of, the reckless, ridiculous recklessness going on when it concerns Freddie and Fannie. You remember seeing the videotape of Maxine Waters. This is and David Meek of New York. This is a political lynching of Franklin Raines. You remember all that. And the continuous fourth branch of government, regulatory folks coming in and making these wide sweeping changes in regulation. That's the difference. The tax cuts, the Bush era tax cuts, have been the same. It's been the constant. It's not the cause of the problem. It isn't. You know, and you're going to hear that it is, but it isn't. Logic denies that. It's just like it is illogical. It's emotional, and people are, we need to tax the rich. Yeah, tax them. Tax them now. Get the money. Let them pay the debt. But the fact of the matter is, they're paying most of the debt now, and that's not working. They are. That's the truth. That's the truth. They're paying most of the taxes now. And that's the part, and people say, well, why are you carrying water for the rich? I'm not carrying water for the rich. I'm not. Because it's not the uber rich that have donated to the Willie Lawson show, that's for sure. The fact of the matter is that I've not been able to get a nickel out of the uber rich that know about this show, that know about what we're trying to do, that know that we're conservative. I've not gotten a dime from them. As a matter of fact, some of the wealthiest people in town, when I was running for office, two of them gave money to my opponent, the Democrat. Yeah. And I've never gotten a nickel from them. Nothing. Zero from them to help with this. So I'm not. So believe me, I am not carrying any water for the uber rich. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you another story. I want you to understand that I'm not carrying any water for the uber rich. We were in real trouble. My wife and I were in real trouble, trying to keep the house. Excuse me. Cat. Love my cat, but it makes me sneeze a little bit. But looked for help from somebody who is who said that they were a conservative Republican. They were in my church at the time. They were a cash millionaire. They were involved in one of those, what I'm saying, one of those programs that, well, I want to say social media, but it's not social media. It's one of those, like Amway. I think they were involved in Amway, and I went to them and I said, you know what, I need your help. And they offered me to pay money to get into Amway, where the flaming liberals who live across the street from me helped us out. They had the money and they shared. And I'm still trying to get their money back to them. There you go. There you go. There you go. So no, I ain't carrying any water for the uber rich. I want y'all to realize that I am not carrying the water for the uber rich. I am not, because I had the phone number, or the cell phone number of somebody who's a cash millionaire that still lives in this area, still has not donated one single penny to either my campaign, it was asked, or to this show that you see right now. So no, I'm not carrying any water for the uber rich, but I happen to understand the situation. The situation is that we know that the top 10% pay 76% of the taxes as it is. Like the president keeps saying, yeah, we tried that. We've tried that, and doubling down on that is not going to improve it. It just doesn't make any sense. He says that we tried that when he's talking about trickle down. But here's what we haven't tried. We haven't tried getting everybody in the game. Everybody having a little skin in the game. Everybody. I don't think it's crazy to have the bottom 1% of wage earners pay 1%, on average 1%. I don't think that's a problem. I happen to, when I taught math, I happen to understand that 9% of $10 is a whole bunch less than 9% of $10 million, or 8% or 7%. That everybody needs to have a little skin in the game, and I think that that's really the key. And you know what? That's the key, because that makes everybody in the country acutely aware of taxes, especially federal spending, federal taxes, and taxes in general. Because I think that if you never pay any federal income tax, if you always fill that form out and they always send you money, and you're calling it a refund, but it's not really a refund at all, I don't think you get it. I don't think you understand. I don't think you can. I really don't. I don't think you can. I really don't. And I ain't blaming you, and I ain't hating. I don't think you can. If you've never been dragged down to the IRS office or gotten one of them letters from them, I don't think you get it. And a lot of you've gotten some of them letters, especially now when you're hurting. You may have gotten some of them letters and said, oh crap, what are we going to do now? This is serious stuff here. We can't ignore this. I mean, this ain't one of them revolving charge cards that you can go, well, it's only $200. They ain't going to put me in jail over $200. Well, the fact of the matter is the IRS will put your butt in jail for $200 or whatever, right? I think everyone needs to have some skin in the game. But if you do that, you destroy a voting bloc, don't you? You destroy the 49% of people who don't pay any federal income tax at all as a voting bloc. You destroy that. And now you have 100% of the people who are looking at how much government is spending, how much government is taxing, because it's coming out of their pocket. And now they're involved, because now they got a little skin, you know what I'm saying? Little skin in the game. And I just don't think the Democrats want that. I really don't. And it doesn't have anything to do with, well, they're already so poor that we should make them. Doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with, if we can keep them on our side, we can say, oh, we're protecting you from the big bad Republicans and conservatives who want to use you as slaves again, because we want to use you as slaves. Everybody's having a little skin in the game. Everybody. We're gonna dump out in a little bit, but you remember the first time that you had a job? You remember that? Maybe you had your job, you had your first job, you were so excited, you were just thrilled, you were working for the factory in the town or somebody in the town or whatever, and you were going to get a real check. I mean, not like the stuff where you got paid cash for mowing lawns and that kind of stuff, or babysitting. I know you were going to get a real check, your first real job, and you were like, yeah, baby, can't wait till Friday, get a real check. Yeah. And you looked at the check and you said, because you knew how much they said you were going to make, and you looked at the check and you went, you looked at it again and you said, who the hell is this FICA guy? Now it's federal government. Why are they taking all my money? For what? You remember that feeling? And I'm telling you, that happens to conservatives, that happens to liberals, and that happens to Democrats and Republicans. The first thing you go, why are they taking my money? For what? I need my money. Remember that? Everybody needs to have that feeling. Everybody needs to keep that feeling. Everybody needs to keep that. So you said, Willie, are you asking people who are on public assistance to give some of that back? Yes, I think it's a good thing. I'm asking people on public assistance to give some percentage of that back, to sow that back, and be responsible for it. Yes, I'm asking the bottom 1% wage earner in this country to pitch in. I'm asking the top 1%, the top 0.5%. Yeah, I want you to pitch in too. I want everybody to pitch in. Everybody needs to have a little skin. Everybody needs to have a little skin. Everybody have a little skin in the game. Everybody. That'll make the biggest difference. Listen, we got to get out of here. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to the WillieLawsonShow.com website and click the donate button at the top of the page. That's what I need you to do. Go to the WillieLawsonShow.com website and click the donate button at the top of the page. Because that'll make the difference. That will make the difference. We need $500 by Saturday. I'd like to have about $500 by Saturday noon. That would be ideal. Actually, ideal would be now. If you were to just get your do this. Get your checkbook out and go, all right. Get your debit card out. Go to the WillieLawsonShow.com website. Click the donate button at the top of the page and say, Willie, you're done. There's your $500. You're done. Go be awesome. Go be our eyes. Go be our ears. That's what I'd like. But right now, for $500, that's 20 people. That's only 20 people at $25 a piece. 20 folks at $25 a piece. Or 25 people at $20 a piece. That's the communicative property. Yeah, communicative property of multiplication. Told you I taught math. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. I need you to do that for us, though. So when if you didn't see this live, if you're seeing this recording, you're probably going to hear about this recording because in just a few minutes, it is 2:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to push this to as many social media sites, my Facebook page, Twitter, all my Twitter feeds, all sorts of Facebook feeds, and we need you to help us out today. I'd like to get it done today. That'd be fabulous. And anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching a little bit. We appreciate you greatly. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. We'll see you then.